Hi there everybody, it's UK independent demonstrator Halsey here from SlimmandStylish.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I have a Sale-a-Bration project for you. Our Sale-a-Bration catalogue is amazing this year. It's got some gorgeous sets in. You are able to purchase from Sale-a-Bration, or take advantage of Sale-a-Bration, shall I say, from the 5th of January to the 28th of February. And let me explain to you what is special about Sale-a-Bration. We have two catalogues at Stampinup. We have our annual catalogue, and we also have our new mini catalogue, which you can also order from on the 5th of January. Any products that you buy in these catalogues enable you for Sale-a-Bration rewards, and let me explain how those work. If you spend £45 worth of product in either of these catalogues, you will get one free Sale-a-Bration product that is worth £45. If you spend £90 worth of products from these catalogues, you either get two Sale-a-Bration products that are £45, or towards the back of the book there are products that are available if you spend £90. So they are cumulative. If you spend £135, for instance, you either get three of the £45 products, or you get one of the £90 and one of the £45 products. And you can purchase all of these from SlimmandStylish. If you look in the corner, that is the link to my shop, and all the details for Sale-a-Bration are on my blog, which you can find in the description. So one of the sets that you get free if you spend £90 is the Berry Delightful bundle, which is the Berry Blessings photopolymer stamp set. I think this is adorable. And there is also the Berry Delightful DSP, and I've used it to create this card, which I'm going to be showing you today. So the DSP, you get 12 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. There's two of each design, and they are double-sided. So you've got this design, this one. Oh, I was wondering where the second page was for this, but the other side of this is the check, which I have used on the card, so I've already been using it. And what I love about the paper is it looks like it's been watercoloured. So it's not sort of stark outlines, it's just really, I think, very beautiful. Now there is another way you can get this paper. There's the one I've used. You can see it's got a little strip off the edge, which I've been using for my cards. Is if you take part in the SlimmandStylish's shares. So let me explain to you how my different catalogue shares work. I have 4 different shares. I have a standard paper share, which means that you get every sheet of standard DSP that is in this catalogue. You get a quarter of each pack, and of course you pay a quarter of the price at £21.50, and then you get a free DSP, which is from the Sale-a-Bration catalogue, called Paper Blooms. The deluxe paper share, this one here, gives you a quarter of all the speciality papers, so that acetates the foils and the pretty ones, and with that you get Berry Delightful. You get a quarter of this paper free. You don't get the stamp set, but you do get a quarter of the paper. All of my shares are on my website, SlimmandStylish.com, and if you want any more details, head over to SlimmandStylish@live.co.uk and I will send you that grid. So, on to today's project. You're going to need your stamp set. Okay, and you're going to need this one, which I've already popped onto a block. You're going to need the blueberries, which I've popped onto a block. You are going to need the raspberries and the top of the raspberry, which is these two. You're going to need the leaves, and you're also going to need a sentiment, and I've used You Always Have a Way of Making My Day. Now, I will give you a heads up beforehand that this set does enable you to do 2-step stamping. So before we actually get into the colours that I'm going to be using for blends, because I've actually blended this card, you can use the inlay stamps. And what that means is you stamp the outline in the black, and then you can grab this, pop it into your Granny Apple Green, and you can stamp it on top. Instead I've blended, but this works perfectly if you're not a blender or if you just want to make some really quick and simple cards. Okay, so I've just got some scrap Whisper White here, and what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to stamp these down. And I need my Memento ink pad. That's there. If you're using blends, Memento ink pad is the best ink pad to use. If you're going to be using your normal colours and stamping in, then I recommend StazOn, but you can still use Memento. It's personal preference, really. I just think StazOn looks a bit better with them, but up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp that down. And I want one of those, and the berries go onto the stalks, so they go on just like, I'm sorry, you might see my head for a second, so I line this up correctly. They go on there like that, and then you want the leaves for your raspberry. And you want the top of your raspberry, which is just going to go in between the leaves just there. And then your raspberry is going to go over the top. And you might see my head again so I can get this lined up right. There we go. Okay, I'm also going to stamp the sentiment at the top of that paper, just there. Okay. For colouring purposes, you want Granny Apple Green, light and dark. You want Melon Mambo, light and dark. And then I've got light and dark Night of Navy and also dark Balmy Blue. These three colours go amazing together. Let me show you how to put it together. So for the Granny Apple Green, you want to run this, and it doesn't matter, this is the dark, it doesn't matter how many layers of this you put over, the darker the better in the middle, and it doesn't have to be neat, you are just doing that in the centre of these leaves. Okay. I know, it looks messy, right? It won't do in a bit, it'll look lovely. And then towards the top here, you just want to do that. Over on these leaves, you want to be slightly neater because these are straight line leaves. So you're going to go through the middle and around the edges. Okay, that's it for the dark Granny Apple Green. Light Granny Apple Green, you want the bullet tip first, and you want to go around the edge of your leaves. Like that. Oh, and the edge down here as well, that would help. This one I'm going to stay with the bullet tip completely because it is just a lot neater. Up the top, I'm going to come in now with the brush tip, and I'm going to go in circles. I love blending in circles. I think it's the best way to get the most colour onto the page and to really spread it out. So I'm going to go over the dark and into the light quite a few times, just using that brush tip. If when you've finished you want to tidy it up and you think, for instance, like I do, that just here I could do with a bit more blending, come in with your bullet tip and just blend that in. Okay. Down here, because this is a slightly thinner leaf, and I want to be more precise, I'm just going to use the bullet tip for the whole lot, and I'm going to go over the whole leaf, including the dark. And you might think that I'm going up and down. I'm actually not. I'm going in long oblongs. I like doing circles in blending. I think there should be some sort of circular motion, and then I find that it works a lot better for me. It drags the ink around a lot more. Okay. That's the Granny Apple Green completely done. For the Melon Mambo, you want the dark one, and you're just going to pop an edge in every single one of these raspberries. I say every single one of these raspberries. I think they're berries within the raspberry. I don't think they're all individual raspberries. Now, I'll tell you something funny, which I think is weird. I love all the fruit stamp sets that come in, and I always buy them first. I think they look very colourful, very tasty. And I always love getting them, and I always love colouring them. And I've just popped the light all the way over that, by the way. But I'm actually allergic to fruit, and I can't eat it. So I think that's why I like getting them, because for once I can buy fruit. But no, it's strange, isn't it? You'd have thought I wouldn't like the fruit sets, means I don't eat fruit. So this is the dark Night Navy, and I'm going all the way around, and I am going in a big swoop on the one side. So I've gone for a big sweep on this side here, a big sweep here, and I'm going to go for a big sweep down the bottom there. There we go, and just a thin one on the side there. Okay, that is dark Night Navy. Light Night of Navy, I'm going to do the bit down there, the little tiny bit at the top, and then I'm just going to do a couple of lines, not many, where the fat thick bit is. I'm not going to go around the thin side. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with a balmy blue, and this is where you can have a load of fun. Use the big nib. You want to get as much ink onto this paper as possible. You want to start out at the edge and work your way into the middle. So, and you will see this blueberry change colour before your very eyes. How fun's that? So start at the edge on the thick bit. Okay, go in circles. Right over it until you're happy with the colour it becomes. And you should have some really good shade in there and different colours in. Love the blueberries. I've just thoroughly enjoyed playing with this bit. So then you're going to want some scissors, and you're going to want to fussy cut these out. There you go. Oh yeah, pre-warning, make sure you have, if you're going to go mad with your blends and you're going to go over the top and you're going to pop a lot of ink on there like I have, you want to make sure that you've got a piece of paper underneath your piece of paper. You don't want to damage your desk or anything. Okay, so I've got my fruit. And finally, I've got my postage stamp punch. This is one of my favourite punches because it punches on the side rather than upwards. So a lot of our punches, you can pop your paper in like that and punch it like that. I find that this punch, however, is the other way round. Don't ask me how it is. It is. I just need to get a bit closer to my sentiments so I can cut it out. So normally this would be across there and you have to apply more pressure because it's on a big bit, but because this doesn't have any punch over here, you don't have to give as much pressure. That's what I'm trying to say, but very badly. And I realise I still haven't said it correctly. Just take that off that paper completely so I can pop it into my punch. But yeah, so for me this is a lot of it. It's an easier punch. Normally the punches sometimes hurt my wrist, not hurt my wrists, that's a bad thing to do, but I have really weak wrists and I find I have to use 2 fingers to get it right. If I use one it aches, so I use 2. With this one I'm happy to use 1. I feel strong. So for putting this card together, you need a thick piece of Whisper White. We have actually stopped doing Whisper White now. I know, I was a huge Whisper White fan as well, but we've changed it to basic white, and there's not much difference in the texture. There's a slight tone difference, but you can get the thick and the normal same as you could in Whisper White, but it's just called basic white. So if you are looking for it on my store, because don't forget, everything I'm using today you are able to buy on my store, and you can get those Sale-a-Bration rewards for. If you are searching for Whisper White, change your search for basic white, and you'll get your white card stock there. So this is a piece of A4 card. It's been cut in half and scored in half to make my 10-fold card. Okay, I have got Night and Navy. I have got a normal size of Whisper White. So the Night and Navy is 10 centimetres by 14.25. The Whisper White is 9.5 centimetres by 14.25 centimetres. And just here I have got a piece of the DSP, which is again 9.5 centimetres, the same as the white cardstock, but it is 1.5 inches, which is about 3 centimetres. Okay, so with this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this on first. So I'm just going to grab some seal. I put my paper on top of my seal, so let me grab it without all the paper falling on the floor. Paper avalanche. I mean, you could use the other side because that's got the blueberries on, and that would look just as nice, but I quite like this sort of gingham-y style. Okay, if it hangs just over, just trim it off, but actually I cut that pretty on track, so that's unlike me. And then you want to stick it onto the Night of Navy base. Like that. Okay, I'm going to use my seal again, and I'm going to pop it over. So it's half on the DSP and half on the Whisper White, and I'm going to use our metallic edge ribbon. And I'm just going to pop that straight over there like that. Pop some seal on the back. Fold that over so you've got a really nice metallic trim. I don't know whether you can see, but behind here it's really glittery, and that is because of the trim. Okay, I'm then going to stick this onto the base, and I'm sticking it flat. I'm not using dimensionals or anything. I'm just going to pop a load of seal across there and get that stuck. The reason I'm not using dimensionals to pop this up is I often think that if you're using lots of dimension on the front, and this is using a bit here, it's then nice to have it flat so that you just have that one bit pop up. I mean, sometimes I do dimension on top of dimension on top of dimension, but right now I'm happy with this. So now you just want to layer everything out the way you want it and the way you like it. So for instance, I've just noticed actually when I fussy cut this the first time, I actually fussy cut the berry out properly, so let me do that. Okay, so that I could fit that just underneath there. And you want to make sure that it doesn't matter if it goes onto the navy, you just don't want it to hang over the edge of the card. So that looks pretty much okay for me. So once you've got it how you're happy with, turn it over and pop a couple of dimensionals on the back. So I'm just going to pop one over where the leaf and the sentiment coincide there, so that that just stays exactly where I want it. Pop that back on there. That's roughly where I want that one, so I'm going to do exactly the same again when I've got it where I want it. Turn it over and pop myself a dimensional over the raspberry and over the sentiment. And then you just want to pop a couple more dimensionals on here so it stays up. And pop one in the middle as well. Okay, and then that will go on my card quite nicely, just there. Whip off the backings and stick it down. It's quite a simple card, this. The longest is the fussy cutting. I already fussy cut it because I didn't want you to sit through it, but it's the longest part of it. The blending is just so fun, especially on those blueberries where you can just go mad. So let's pop that on there. Okay, for the ribbon, I've popped a little bow on just down here. The reason for that is to slightly cover up the gingham, which you can see through there. So you just want to make a little bow. And it is a tiny, tiny little bow you want to make. So just keep going until it's titchy. But you want it tight enough that it's not going to fall apart. And then cut the tail so it's titchy as well. At the moment I seem to be making quite a few of these miniature bows and I do quite like them. And then I just stuck it on there like that, so I just used a bit of seal and stuck that on there. Finally, a few rhinestones, and I take a pick tool to pick them up, so I'm going to be using the bigger rhinestones. And I'm just going to pop 3 of them on just to give it a little bit glitter. I know it's got the glitter on the ribbon, I just want to maximise that a little bit. There we go. There is my free card using free stamps and free paper. What do you think? If you like it and you actually want to see a copy of any of our catalogues, please just drop me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk. If you want to see more details in regards to any of the shares that I am running, also drop me an email and ask for the grid. And you can purchase any of the items I have used today from my website, which is in the corner of this video, and the new stuff from Sale-a-Bration and the mini catalogue goes live on the 5th of January. If you are shopping with me, please do head to my blog and find my host code. That's on the corner of my blog, SlimmandStylish.com, and if you pop the host code in with your order, you actually get another free gift from me as a thank you for ordering with a homemade card that I send to all my customers, because I'm so grateful for all of the orders you put through me. Thanks everybody. If you've liked the video, please do subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.